o'clock, straight up, according to my digital watch. And we are going to call this regular session of the Nissa School Board to order. I am really pleased to see so many people here and so many wearing FFA jackets. You know, those FFA jackets have not changed in 50 years. So it's old-fashioned, kids. It's old-fashioned. Anyway, I would like to ask, who should we have lead the Pledge of Allegiance today?
I'll do it.
All righty, thank you.
Oh, great, a volunteer.
Volunteer. Here we go. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Graver. Okay. Item 3, the adoption of the agenda. Are there any changes or amendments to the agenda? In that case, we will adopt the agenda as presented, and we will move on to item number 4, commendations. Student commendations, and let's see, I can't remember what started with last time. We will start with the middle school this time.
One of them is. We were going to try to catch the March one, but I'll see. All right, our middle school student of the month is Eric from Means-Helena. Alrighty, from Mr. DeLong, Eric does a great job in PE class. Eric always gives his best with a super attitude and is a role model for other students in class. Keep up the good work. From Ms. Caputi, Eric Fermin reminds me there is great power in silence. He's probably said about 50 words to me in the last 2 years. But his integrity, work ethic, and desire to learn not only speak volumes, but echo through my classroom for all to hear. Everyone knows Eric is a man worthy of respect, especially me. Eric Fermin today, Eric Fermin tomorrow, Eric Fermin forever. And Mrs. Davis says Eric Fermin is a silent achiever. He's been in my ELP class for 2 years now, and I have high hopes that he will pass his ELPA test this year. He works so hard to keep his group on task and makes sure his work is completed. He is respectful, attentive, and responsible. While I will be extremely proud if he passes, I will miss having him in my class. Congratulations on being Student of the Month. Much deserved. His copy. Yeah, we can.
Do you want me to go over the Spanish version?
Yeah, yes, kind of highlights. Yeah, you want me to just do it maybe?
Yeah.
It's
Or do it. Okay.
It's in Spanish on the back.
Oh, okay.
His
Okay.
copy.
Yeah.
Ok, dice que Eric es un estudiante de pocas palabras, erudito, estelar. Eric trabaja con tal perseverancia y madurez que está mucho más allá de su edad. No es solo que Eric se porta bien o hace su tarea a tiempo, o es el primero en terminar sus tareas y todo lo hace, sino que se engorda de asegurarse de que entiende un concepto, defiende sus mantenidos y en un trabajo minucioso y reflexivo, y es un joven caballero educado y servicial dentro y fuera del aula. Aprecio todo lo que Eric aporta a nuestra clase de séptimo grado y al Salón de Matemáticas. Su dedicación a su escuela y a sus estudios es inspiradora.
We also have the parent of the month. She told me she would not be able to be here. She's such a good parent. She's at her son's flag football game. But we only get to do it so few times a year. I wanted to make sure that she was recognized. Our parent of the month is Jennifer Goldthorpe. If you don't know Jennifer, she's a very giving person. For example, one of the reasons we're awarding her this month is she helped us with math counts. So math counts at middle school's gone for quite a few years, and we qualified for the state tournament. The regional tournament was in Boise that we attend, and we qualified for the state math counts competition. And Jennifer was the chaperone for that trip and willingly gave up her whole Friday and Saturday and got to drive with myself. It was very flexible. Mr. Hunter, who usually takes them, is unable to do that, so she helped me organize and keep track of the trip. And so we really appreciate her allowing the kids to do that. It's nice to have a female chaperone when we have other female students, so I appreciate her being able to do that. So Jennifer Goldthorpe. We also have the honor to do the NISA School District Employee of the Month, and that's Jesus Prado. Please come up. Jesus technically, I don't think is our employee, but we think of him as being our employee because he hangs out in our building all the time. And so if you don't know what he is the migrant graduation specialist for both the middle school and the high school. And that's obviously his job. The reason we're giving this award for because he's a wonderful man. Let's be fair about that. So what he's done for our kids within our building is pretty amazing. And just the idea that when he's walking down the hall, you always see a smile on his face, even if he's stressed. And he's been under lots of stress lately with all the things he's trying to organize. But still comes to work with a wonderful smile on his face. Has been able to do a lot of enrichment and extension activities for our kids, either helping facilitate them within our building in the high school, and then also within his own room after school. Willing to have groups of kids working on their English in his classroom after school. And so, for example, he's got easels up in his classroom, because if you don't know the room we put him in, was a storage room, so he just gave him a spot, right? And so, in all honesty, he's lasted long enough to earn the right to have his own room. And so when I went in the other day, he's carved out a classroom in there. So against all odds, right, for lack of a better word of saying that, we did not set him up, right, for the level of success that he's achieved. So I walked in there the other day, he's got classrooms set up, tables and chairs. I'm like, man, we got to get this thing emptied out. We found you a spot. You're doing a wonderful job. And so our ladies went in there on Friday, and he's got much more classroom space because his classroom continues to expand, and he's serving more and more kids every single day. The thing I appreciate with him is he always communicates very well with us. He's been able to use our facility quite a bit. The Commons area to do parent extension nights. He always takes really good care of it and makes sure that he's well organized and always keeps us in the loop. And so I appreciate his dedication to our kids, and then being willing to do things as simple as going out and visiting homes to make sure kids are coming to school and they've got everything they need to come to school. So I appreciate him as a human being, wonderful man.
Alrighty, well, we have a problem. We're running out of time, and we have too many awesome seniors that we're going to miss horribly. And so we brought you two. And so hopefully you can enjoy this. The first one, Amberly Draper, come on down. We have all kinds of good stuff for you. So I'll let you put that on. Amberly's currently a senior at NISA High School. We're going to miss her horribly. She's one of our valedictorians, and she's ranked first in her class. She's also our student body president and has actively led our student council and served our school with several events that include Homecoming Week, Pep Assemblies, Fair Week, Health in the Whole, and the Sadie Hawkins Dance. With each activity, Ambree's thoughtfulness, organization, and commitment result in a huge success. Her contribution to building school spirit and opportunities for her peers has been incredible. She's probably, seriously, the best student body president I've ever worked with. When she brings an idea to me, she is so organized. We give her a bad time today. She had her notebook open and she had all her pens and pencils all perfectly lined up. Anyway, she is so organized and thoughtful that I don't have to tell her no. And she's convincing and thoughtful. And so I really appreciated the way that she's increased our school spirit and looked out for all of the different groups in our school. As a student, she has a 4.0, but not because she's taking easy classes. And some of her classes include advanced biology, math 113, probability and statistics, anatomy and physiology, and pre-calculus. Teachers have shared that she has a true pleasure to have in class, learns quickly, and participates fully in classroom activities. She also does well with our athletics, 3 sport athletes, soccer, basketball, and track. She has an amazing work ethic and is a positive addition to any team. Last year she placed second in pole vault, and so no pressure. She's gonna do awesome. She's gonna do awesome, we know it. Yeah, no pressure. And then, let's see. Anyway, I appreciate she's an excellent role model. Both of the students that we're going to share tonight just truly make our school a better place by being who they are. And so, I want to congratulate you as Student of the Month.
All right, like we said, we did cheat. We picked 2, and our second one is London Hartley. Come on up, London.
And I'm fashion challenged, so I don't know if this is the right size. If not, come see us.
So London's awesome. She's currently a senior at Nissa High School, and she's graduating on May 26th. She's a 4.0 valedictorian, and she's ranked first in her class. She's excelled in both academics and athletics, and has an amazing amount of positive energy. As a student, London has excelled academically, even with a rigorous schedule that includes advanced biology, math 112, pre-calculus, anatomy and physiology, and ag leadership. Teachers have shared that she's a true pleasure to have in class and actively takes charge of her learning. She's also a 3-sport athlete, volleyball, basketball, and currently in tennis, correct?
Yeah.
Where are you playing doubles?
I'm playing singles.
Singles, first singles.
Second.
Singles, all right. Well, good luck the rest of the year. And then Mr. Kirkshank also added that London is a very clever person who works well in a group setting and sets high standards for herself and others around her. She's an individual who strives to solve problems and analyze the situation, searching for the right answer. She has an amazing ability to work in the classroom and possesses a strong understanding of a multiplicity of subjects linked to agriculture and technology. She works well with other students and strives to be polite and courteous to all. So we wanted to congratulate London, and she truly is an amazing student and person, and she'll do great things in life. So thank you, London.
Kaylee Beneja Areno is our second grade, or K through second grade. Kaylee is one of our migrant students. She came back after a few months in Mexico and has really applied herself in art in her ELD class like never before. She is actively participating in class, speaking much more, and gaining confidence in her English skills. Keep working hard, Kaylee. This is Dalton, and I'm going to work real hard on my Spanish skills. Kaylee es una de nuestras estudiantes migrantes. Regreso después de unos meses en México y realmente se ha esforzando en la clase ELD como nunca antes. Participar activamente en la clase, hablo mucho más y gana confianza en sus habilidades en inglés. Seguir trabajando duro, Kaylee.
And I don't see our other student of the month here, but, and we'll save her for next month if that's okay with the board, but, it is Olivia Wilson, and we'll save hers for next month.
Thank you. Nice job. And congratulations to all of you. Yes, very good. Yes. We will, our award winners will have their pictures, can have their pictures taken in the hall. They and their families are welcome to do that. And then, if you'd like to come back, please do. Maribel, could you translate that? please?
Yes. Sí, por favor, los que tienen reconocimiento pueden pasar al pasillo para poder tomar su fotografía con su hijo o hija. Y si gustan después de tomar el rato, regresar a la junta, con gusto nos gustaría que nos siguieran con nosotros o si no pueden salir después de las fotos. Gracias.
Thank you, Maribel. Okay. We will now move on to item 5, visiting patrons and delegations. And first up, our spelling bee participants. Mr. Murray.
Thank you. Well, it was a good year for NISA spellers at the county spelling bee. There were 8 participants, 1 in each grade, and 6 of them medaled. And just to put things in perspective a little bit, there are 104 spellers who come to the spelling bee. At least there were that many this year. So just to be there representing really thousands of students in the county is an honor. Just to get there and then to be able to medal once you do is really an achievement. So I'd like to call the students up here who did medal in first grade. She finished in second place among all first graders, Boston Elgezimov. And in second grade and third place among all second graders, that was Benjamin Gonzalez. I'm going to skip forward a couple grades in sixth grade, and the best speller of all sixth graders in the county, Madison Martinson. And then in 8th grade, and the top 8th grade speller in the county, Christian Martinez. I think Christian's competition was probably the longest one we've seen, an hour and a half, right?
Oh my
Just
gosh.
going back and forth. 38 rounds, okay. Finally,
Wow.
Now let me just return to 5th grade and the top 5th grade speller in the county, as well as 3rd overall for the 2nd year in a row, Sylvia Draper.
Last year, not second.
Oh, you last year got 2nd. Corrected me, 2nd overall. Thanks for that. And in 7th grade, and the top 7th grade speller in the county, as well as the county champion, Alexis Camarillo. We're really proud of all these spellers, and I know we're going to see several of them back again next year. Thanks.
And you were, are there pictures? You can go out in the hallway and have your pictures taken if you would like.
Put it in the middle.
Okay, we will now move on to 5B, student representatives. First of all, our student body representatives. Yes, no?
You know her.
Okay, so since the last meeting, we haven't had a ton of updates, and it's actually on the second line, but the only thing I have to talk about is the senior trip, which we have almost officially planned. So we're planning on going to Lagoon on Memorial Day, which is May 27th, the day after we graduate, and we'll leave super early Monday morning, and then drive up, hang out for the day, and then drive home. We have 76 kids that are eligible to go, which just means that they raised their money and that their portion of it. And for those 76 kids, we would need 8 chaperones, so in total, that'd be 84 people going. And that means we would most likely need 2 buses. And after a senior meeting, we'll actually have like a sure number of kids going, we'll make sure we know the accurate number. And then we do have our funds necessary from our chocolate fundraiser and the one that we did during the summer at the fairgrounds. And Lagoon is actually giving our school a huge discount. I think the tickets are like half off. They're only $54 instead of $99. So a huge discount for that. And then the only thing that we're asking is for the district to consider donating us the bus drivers for the trip. So thank you for your consideration of donating. And do you guys have any questions about that?
That is an action item.
This is an
Yes.
action item.
And I just want to point out that we have, in the past, always donated the buses for the senior trip, and we want to continue that tradition. And so, endorsement from me to approve this item. So,
Can I add something? So, Anne-Marie, and I know she's doing the math, I already said this, but she was very thoughtful with this. She wanted to make sure that she included all the seniors in the fundraiser, and so they did a chocolate fundraiser that all of the students sold. And I ate my share of chocolate. But yeah, so all of the classes participated, and which will pay for everything except for bus driver gas. And then also, we want to thank you for your donation of the banners that are going on the fence. We realize we're asking, even though you were very generous. Thank you.
Yes, we need a motion.
I make a motion, we let the seniors go on their trip to Lagoon, provide the buses and drivers.
I'll second that. It's been moved by Jeremy, seconded by Susan, to allow you to use buses and bus drivers for your senior trip to Lagoon. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Have fun.
Do you need shots? There's 7
Just like
chaperones over
Casper.
Next on the agenda is from FSA.
Not available.
That's fine.
So we're part of the junior NISA FFA class, and what we did is at state convention, it was a week ago, right? We went and we competed in Ag Issues, which is a competition where you write and present a 15-minute skit about an agricultural issue, and then you present it to 5 different groups in your community, and then perform it at state. And so we did this activity. Our question was, are non-lethal measures effective in addressing the wolf livestock conflict to adequately protect the economic interests of livestock producers in the Northwest? That question means, should we kill the wolves or use non-lethal measures to deal with them? And so we all worked together. This was a really cool team project that we did. NISA has never done this competition before, and so it's kind of an experiment to see like how everything works and if we were even doing it right. Anyway, so we went and we competed at the state level, and we got first place.
Oh, wow.
And so that means we'll be able to move on to the national level and compete there in November. So it's pretty exciting.
Congratulations.
It'll be in Indianapolis.
Yeah. That is nice. That is very nice.
What was your conclusion?
During the, do you guys want to answer?
Yeah, so in this topic, we try to balance it between, you know, the pros and cons. We ended topping it off with a question to the audience. What we said was, would you pull the trigger? And, you know, we had a strong start, we also had a strong ending. I feel like that's what gave us, you know, the advantage to, you know, really stand out more. Because, you know, we got in there with confidence. And, you know, our first time, you know, like she said, we were new to the competition. We were, you know, we didn't know what to expect. This is like our very first time doing it, and then this FA chapter. And here's a funny story behind it. The reason we did it was because our friend here, Brian, he wasn't going to be able to go to state, but we wanted him to go to state. You know, we found ways to, you know, bring him along to state. Yes, true. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we did it for that reason, but I mean, I think it was a great cooperative effort. I mean, honestly, there was the challenge that we'd never done this competition before, so we were in a new playing field. And so when I was writing the script for this, I had in mind, you know, okay, I gotta get something together. I gotta get myself to state. You know, I really want to go with these guys. So, you know, I didn't take it incredibly seriously. For instance, I named my character Ricky Longshit, and I was a state senator. So anyways, when I wrote that line, I'm like, oh, they're going to think this one's funny. And then I said it 50 more times. And then at state convention, that was one of the things that actually gave us a little bit of an edge. All these other people, they went up and they presented and they said their little spiel. But none of them were entertaining. And we got up there and we absolutely killed it. We worked together as a team. And afterwards, you know, we were a little bit nervous because even Kirkshank, you know, he didn't really know what we were going to do. So we ended up going up there, we got first, and we were all really, really happy. And I couldn't have done it with these guys. We all really did try our best, and we managed to pull it off.
That's a great job.
Is there a video of this skit somewhere?
There is. I would love to have the video as well, because, you know, but there's like 2 or 3 people that have recorded it, but
I gotta figure out how to get it off the cell phone.
yeah.
It's like
We have tech people.
Ask Adam.
Yeah, I should go see Adam.
Mhm.
I mean, when these guys do this, I mean, you're rolling laughing because it's just that entertaining.
It's
So,
informative too. And they show 4 different perspectives, and so they have 4 different perspectives and a narrator. And so very thoroughly researched and presented. And so just for fun. Politician, raise your hand. Okay, narrator. Okay, then we had the rancher. Okay, then we had the environmentalist. Yeah. And what am I missing?
the hunter.
The hunter, of course. Yes. So it was amazing, and they practiced. They said, Jackman, you got to come down. You got to give us feedback. They practiced for couple different times with community members and got feedback so that they could refine it and perfect it. So anyway, I can't. Sorry, I'm talking too much. I'm super proud of them.
Good job. Great.
Personally invite all the board members to our banquet we're having tomorrow. These invitations may not be of the highest quality, but I assure you, tomorrow's banquet will be.
Did you say you were a practicing politician?
Yeah. All right. Do little things here and there.
Your governor remember us.
Chad, do you have anything else to add about your amazing team and your students?
We actually, that group of students qualified in the Ag Issues, the Farm Business Management team that's been the sophomores for a lot of the years, pulled another state title. So we have that group going back, and we also had a vice president and state officer,
Great.
Spencer Romans. So I think we got 10 going back to nationals. And
That's tremendous.
this was at the state convention was well represented.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's pretty awesome, so thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, item 5C, public comment. Do we have any public comment? No? Then we will move on to the superintendent's report.
Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Malaka. I just want to highlight what Chad said first off. Like, what is ag marketing, or business? How many years in a row is this, Chad, for
So
your ag
we made
business?
a t-shirt for a decade and we got 10 in a row. Now we're set at 14 and we're hoping for 15 next year.
Great.
Of this group of students, I think of the 5, 3 little brothers, little sisters that are freshmen. So there's a Bounds girl, there's Isaac Sanchez and Ryan Young. So we need one more.
Impressive. And a state officer.
They just get on board.
Right? A state officer, Spencer Romans, correct?
Yes.
Which is a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had 2 that actually put their name in the hat, but only when they cut it, when they make the final slate of the top 10, you can't have 2 from the same school. We actually had another one that would have probably been, she made the cut of the first 15 to make the final 15, then they had to cut 5 more at that point. So, just high caliber group of students. Eliana Monk.
And then she also did place in speaking.
She was top 8 in her advanced public, and Juliana was top 8 in extent. And when I was talking to people back home, I was like, usually if you can get out of our section, you're gonna be toward the top 4. And then after the kids brought back what they brought back, I was like, well, we can't take all of them. They did well, is what I'm trying to say.
So we're going to have to charter a plane for Indy. Telling me, so. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Great highlight of our kids and success. So thank you,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Have a good night. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, I'm delighted to kind of provide some key updates and initiatives around our community. And first, as we have done all year, I'd like to have Matt come and join us and share updates on Title I-C and discuss the ongoing monitoring visit that started today with ODE. And their presence here this week underscores our commitment to accountability and transparency in all aspects of this operation. And so I just appreciate it. So I'm going to invite Matt to come up here and give us an update on that.
Very brief report. As Mr. Hawkins has said, ODE is here on the ground, and they conducted interviews today. We had an opening meeting with them, and then they conducted interviews. 2 of us today, Tuesday and Wednesday, they will be interviewing the rest of the migrant staff as well as Crystal, and I'm sure that those interviews are going to go well. Tomorrow also is the superintendent's migrant student luncheon, which we've had about monthly now, and really developing relationships with that group. Also tomorrow night is the migrant PAC meeting for the newly elected officers from the last meeting. That'll be a training session for them. And then next month there'll be the full PAC meeting with all of the migrant parents invited. Finally, Thursday is the exit interview.
What time is the exit in?
9 a.m.
Thank you. And this is kind of that last big monitoring visit for the year, correct, Mr.
Yes.
Murray? And the findings of the work that we've been doing with ODE this year, so we're excited to kind of get that past us. So thank you, Mr. Murray. And I would also like to highlight that we find ourselves in the midst of one of my favorite seasons, testing season. But it really, I just want to emphasize the importance of aspect testing to our community. And this assessment not only showcases the dedication of our students, but also reflects the hard work of our staff, teachers, IAs, parents at home, and this really is the measure by which we get measured with the state. And so it's a really important time for us. So please, you guys have small kids, make sure they get to bed, and we do an amazing job. And so I just want to remind everybody of that. And then also on Thursday, we have kindergarten roundup, and that is from 4 to 6. And I wanted to make this announcement today because it's important that as we plan for next year, right, is having this event and knowing how many kids, kindergartners, were going to come is extremely important. And so that's from 4 to 6 tomorrow. If you have a kindergartner or know somebody who has a kindergartner, please tell them to come. And I want to tell a big thank you to Mr. Pratt and Ms. Book on securing the grant that actually allows us to have this kindergarten event, but also, and which is amazing, and this idea from our team, actually, they're trying to replicate it throughout our whole county, is 100% of our kindergartners will be supplied with backpacks for next year. And in those backpacks, they will have family engagement events that they can kind of get them ready for school, and it really is a brainchild of our elementary team. And so I just wanted to say not only thank you for securing that grant for our community, but also providing that. So just thank you. So that's coming up. And then also, if you guys remember, our 5th graders are leaving this week for Newport. And so they're going to go and go to OMSI at the Hatfield Marine Center. And so I look forward to kind of seeing how that goes. I am extremely jealous that they get to go see waves, but that's the way life goes. And so I also want to talk that we are in the initial stages of contract negotiations with our certified, classified, and also we're looking at admin and confidential as well. And this is important for the community to know because this really sets up kind of our plan forward for our community, how we're taking care of our kids. And so we are in the initial stages of that, and I think every board member is somewhat involved somewhere. And so I just want to tell you guys how much I appreciate your time. And if you don't know the community, I mean, it's really every Tuesday and Wednesday from here for the rest of the month that we are going to be meeting and part of those negotiations. And so that would wrap up my update for the month. So thank you.
Is the kindergarten roundup in the elementary school?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. For the first year, I don't have a kid going there. So anyways, I skip 1 year, then I'll go next year. But anyway, it's been so long since it's weird. So.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Now we will go to item 7, our financial report. Crystal?
Hello, everyone. Tonight you have our financials through March 31st. There was no surprises for the month of March. Nothing came up, nothing broke, knock on wood, that we had to fix or anything, just a pretty normal month. I wanted to just touch base on our middle school bond fund. Our bond, that fund at the end of the month, we're sitting at $355,000. Our upcoming debt service payment is $365,000. So we are still short some funds, but we have until June to make that payment. So we'll get the revenue and then make that payment in June. To just highlight our Early Head Start. Again, with that program, our biggest expenses are payroll, but they ended the month well. And then I really want to just talk about food service this month. I think the transition to 4-day weeks has been really, really a good thing. I knew it would kind of catch up to us eventually, and so I wanted to point out some things that happened in March. So March, we had 11 days of school. So that was only 11 days that we could serve food, and that's how we get our money from the state. So to compare it to February we went to school 17 days. We served 32,000 meals. And in the month of March, we only went to school 11 days, and we served 21,000 meals. So that's why you see that ending fund balance just a little over $4,800 when it was thousands last month, because we just didn't serve a lot of days. So hopeful the month of April, we have lots of days of school, so build that ending fund balance back up, serve a lot more meals. But I just wanted to point that out. And then also I've just included our normal payroll report that I give you guys every month, and then our approval of the bills
wasn't sure, as you guys looked over the reports, if you had any questions on anything that was paid out for the month of March? Or any questions on anything?
If there are no questions for Crystal, then thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, we will now move on to the consent agenda. We've all reviewed it. Do I hear any comments on the consent agenda? Do I hear a motion on the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Megan and seconded by Jeremy to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor? Motion carries. New business, item 9, the science curriculum.
Perfect. The science adoption curriculum, and last week we really dove into our process of what we go through to adopt a curriculum, and so tonight we are ready to kind of roll that out. And Mrs. Burbank is here just in case if I mess anything up to throw something at me. And so, just like we talked last week, the elementary has approved Mystery Science as their adoption. We know we'll have to do an independent adoption for that. The middle school is going to go with Style, and the high school is actually McGraw-Hill with supplements on 2 of the courses for sure. Is that correct, Mrs. Burbank?
Yes, we have Savas, Cengage, and Pearson actually are all going to be doing some of the
elective courses. And so, so based on that, you'll see that kind of what, not only the cost breakdown of that adoption, but we are ready to go forward and present those 2.
And this adoption is effective for 7 years?
Yes, starting in August, starting next year, and it will be a 7-year adoption. Like I said, pending, they have radically changed all of the science standards like they do with NGSS, but anyway, it's going to be 7 years, so.
Kathleen, I want to thank you for the really excellent presentation you gave us during our work session a week ago. I appreciated that. And I will say that I am kind of concerned about the curriculum for the high school, not here, but because the state seems to be having issues with finding a curriculum that is satisfactory. So science is changing rapidly. Just a comment. Okay, this is an action item. Do I hear a motion on adopting the science curriculum?
Pat, can I make a comment real quick?
Yes.
Before we do that, were you able to get those dates scheduled to meet with parents for the community? Yes. Stakeholder meeting? Yep. And there was a couple other action items we were working on.
So we're on April 16th, we're doing a bullpup talk, there we go, bullpup talk, and I've already have teachers committed to, I'm gonna do like an introduction, and then several teachers, and maybe including me and Miss Book, are gonna lead some science lessons, so the parents can come and experience a science lesson, and then they'll fill out like a vote at the end as to what they think of or give some comments as to what they think of the curriculum. So that was one thing. The other things were just with the independent adoption, and I'm still in process on that, and I'll still bring that to you soon. So it was just extra pieces of it. Can you think of anything else? Was there anything else?
I don't remember my notes, but I remember there was a couple action items we wanted to have smoothed out before.
Right, yeah, it was that, and then also getting the curriculum chosen, and so, and I think we're now much closer to that. Most of the things we're just waiting for the publisher to get back with us about the quotes. Thank you.
Thank you, Maribel. We appreciate the extra information very much. All that being said, this is an action item. Do I hear a motion on accepting the science curriculum as presented?
Motion to accept the science curriculum as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Maribel and seconded by Dustin to accept the science curriculum as presented. All those in favor? Motion carries. The next item is the superintendent contract. At our last regular session, the board made a motion to enter into contract negotiations with Mr. Hawkins. Susie, Vice Chairman, and I entered into negotiations with Ryan as per the items that that the board had discussed. And Mr. Hawkins and we came to an agreement. We had that tentative agreement contract reviewed by our legal person, Mike Horton. He approved it. We brought it back to the board. The board made just a couple more changes. Mr. Hawkins and I went through that, and pending the approval of the board to accept the contract, Mr. Hawkins tentatively agreed to it. So this is a 3-year contract. Do I hear a motion on accepting this contract as presented to Mr. Hawkins?
I make a motion that we enter into the contract as presented.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Susie and seconded by Dustin to approve the contract as presented to Mr. Hawkins. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The next item is item 10, the board report, which means I get to talk. All right. I would like to remind our budget committee and our board about the Budget 101 meeting that Crystal is presenting at 6 o'clock on April 16th. Crystal, do you have anything that you want to tell us about? Anything we need to be prepared for?
Don't eat dinner, because there'll be dinner, and come ready to learn.
Sounds great to me. Dinner and learning.
I'm going to try to keep it to an hour, so we should be able to go over everything and
Okay, and
answer questions.
You will send out invites to all our...
Yes, I will.
Okay, I appreciate that.
No problem.
The next item will be we will have a work session on May 6th at 6 o'clock. Oh, yes, and have board scholarships. Please go through and review the board scholarships, because at our work session, we will make an announcement, decision and an announcement on the board scholarships. Right? Okay, now we're getting close to item 11, adjournment. Before we adjourn, are there any announcements, any comments to our meeting?
Yes, I need to resign from my position on the school board because of the statement of economic of interest that the that the state is requiring of us. I wouldn't mind filling it out, however, by doing so, it would invade the privacy of my partners. And I have to, I volunteered for this position, they did not, and I have to respect that. Last year, I resigned and was reappointed because there was hope that it would be changed. But that didn't happen and it's not going to, so I am going to resign for good. I'm not going to be reappointed. I do want to make it clear that that's the only reason that I'm resigning, not because of anything else that's going on. The recall, you know, I'm not mad about that. In fact, I kind of wish I was going to stick around to see what happened with it. I respect the need for checks and balances. I don't respect people that do it based on lies and false accusations, and I think it speaks to their character. But that being said, I do want to thank everybody that I've had the opportunity to work with, staff, students, community members. I've done my best to listen to everything that you've said, and I've always wanted the best for the students. That's what matters here. And that's it. Thank you.
Jeremy, I have to say that you're breaking my heart.
I wish I could continue to help, but I can't.
I understand. And I understand about the statement of economic interest. A year ago, I resigned. I also spent time testifying on behalf of Senate Bill 292, which would have removed small school districts from having to do, or board members from small school districts from having to fill out the SEI. And I explained to the committee then that the SEI in our area precludes diversity, inclusion, and equity. And it does it in a profound manner. At this point in time, I will tell you that I am still talking to my partner, to my husband, because we are a joint partnership. If the SEI referred just to me, and please, let's remember that this is a joint tenancy state. It is not a community property state. If it referred just to me, it would be one thing, but it includes my husband. He's not the public servant. I chose to be. So, at this point, I'm still talking to Noble. So, if there are any other comments, announcements?
We want to put out applications and have a date.
We have to, he hasn't given us a formal letter, so.
I just have one other comment myself. So on April 15th, obviously, is an anniversary date of the year from our officer being killed last year. And in that, his wife suggested that we do a kind of get together over at JJ's Park for softball, kind of a fun softball game. Can't take her, she's not here, but Mr. Cleaver, I think, T for putting together the ability to have her softball team join us as well in that.
With the police?
Yeah, and it's police, firefighters. I mean, it's just going to be a get together. We have a team designated, but just going to be a get together, kind of try to have a happy, good time. And of course, his wife, his wishes are to put smiles on faces instead of sadness. So, anybody from the community is welcome.
There's raffle and what else?
I'm not sure of all that. Some of
There's
us
a
are
raffle,
but there's going to be a raffle. There's going to be, I believe, kind of like a. I know they were inviting people to try kind of a food court there as well. So.
What time will that be?
5:30.
5:30. And again, the date?
Okay.
Okay. Great.
Next.
let's keep that in mind. We need to support our community. Very much so.
And it's at the park, JJ's Park, right?
JJ's.
Yeah, that should be smart. We should go more about it.
Okay, are there any other comments or announcements? That being said, this meeting is adjourned.